You guys already know this the main one tapping in all the way from H-Town, Houston, Texas. I'm here with my boy T.A.G.
T.A.G.
Tag, very nice, very evil.
Well, that's tag shit.
The only thing we're gonna do is take over, baby.
Free fall as I dive through the kaleidoscope in my mind. No rope up to climb. Gotta remind myself that I'm fine. Mama, I don't really.
What it is, what it was, and what it do. You have the best frenemies here and live and in living color. You know, and for those who know about frenemies in wrestling, I'm talking about like Triple H and Shawn, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, you know, Trish and Lita, you know, best frenemies where, you know, they be best friends, but they make the best enemies too. Of course, 2 times, 2 belt scoop, and Lil Deasley right there to the right. And
Lil Deasley.
I said Lil Deasley.
It sounded like you said Lil Deasley. Like
I said, look, I will never disrespect you in that way, good sir. But how you doing and how you feeling, sir?
You know, first off, I'm loving this weather. You know, we finally get that nice little cold front in Houston because you know we stay next to the sun.
For the last 2 years, I've been telling somebody because in 2023 I was in Milwaukee and I was like, the weather they have right now, I will pay into a yearly fund for them to turn the weather machines on for us to have this weather.
Big fact.
I will pay into a yearly fund, but yes, it is finally starting to cool down in the city of Houston, y'all.
Yep.
But yes, I agree. I am loving this weather. But yeah, y'all, I mean, we got some, of course, you know, the good, bad, and the ugly when it comes to the world of professional wrestling. And to kick things off, we're gonna just do kind of a little quick recap of some of the going on that happened in NXT. Halloween Havoc and kind of the fallout of NXT as well, right quick. So in case you didn't know, Miss Blake Monroe captured the NXT the Women's North American Championship. If you didn't know the specifics, Zarya decided to defend the title for Soul. She gets distracted, of course. Blake takes advantage. Blake is the champ. So, and she told the world that, hey, she gonna defend her belt at Madison Square Garden. So, we don't know against whomps yet, but she's defending it at Madison Square Garden. Dizzle's favorite faction in NXT are your 2-time NXT Tag Champions with Dark State by the way of Dion Lennox and Osiris Griffin. They took on the Hardys in a Broken Rules match, and pretty much it was 4-on-2. Let's just be fair. It was 4-on-2, but Dark State regained and recaptured the NXT Tag Team Championships. And the big one of the night, Big Tatum, not the little one, dethroned JC Jane to become NXT Women's Champion. So those were the big things that went down at Halloween Havoc, which it wasn't a bad show. It was a fun show. The only thing was that it wasn't as Halloween themed as we normally get. But other than that, it still wasn't a bad show. But moving on to the next thing that happened, which I think so. WWE at times feels like the company that they want to be new, they want to be edgy, they want to be hip, and it kind of just falls flat. And what I mean was, for a good solid week, they had these teasers that was posted on X, and it was pretty much shoes. You could just see people walking, and it was like shoes. Like, people were like, oh no, is this a new superstar coming back? Is it Santos Escobar coming back? What's going on? Then a second vignette, then a third, and then a fourth. And then it was a poker chip that hit the ground. I mean, hit a poker table. Then it pretty much led to the commercial. And the commercial was Triple H walking into a room, and we see Cody, Roman, Punk, and yes, Brock Lesnar at a poker table. Heyman's there with Triple H, and is pretty much promoting WrestleMania Vegas. And pretty much the collective IWC was like, "Hey, y'all get this bullshit." Now, personally speaking to me, the line in the sand that they drew by including Brock Lesnar is wild. Wild.
What they say?
No, I'm just saying the fact that they including Brock in the advertisements for WrestleMania. Yeah,
I see.
I would say the fact that they including him in the ads is like crazy. Like they just letting you know that hey, we behind our boy Brock. You know, like
yeah, it's a again, and we've said it before. It's a slippery slope. Like I can understand because I'm a big proponent of separating the art from the artists and all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, the only reason why this is as slippery of a slope as it is because this is still an ongoing thing. Like there has not been any definitive decisions that has been made to absolve him of anything at this point. And there has been no evidence that have come up to say, hey, this dude had nothing to do with it. Everything is still up in the air and extremely ambiguous. And yeah, I get that he was just named, but at the same time, somebody who read them documents, it's pretty fucking damning. So if all this stuff is legit, then yeah, because hypotheticals, what happens if court goes on and then it comes out that he did exactly or he did more than what was even stated in the documents? Because then what do? Do you walk this back? You know, because
exactly
it's weird because then at that point then you put a blemish on WWE because then it's like, okay, maybe they're bad at decision making because if you decide to do something like this, like you can't do this how a UFC would do stuff with Dana White. Like when Dana White struck his when he was in a situation that he was in, for lack of details, it's almost if you can't have UFC without Dana White, so they can technically get away with him having that controversy, and then be able to walk away from it without getting too much backlash because UFC operates a different way. UFC doesn't really give a shit about, like they give a shit about their sponsors, but they pretty much operate as in, hey, this is what we got going on. You either in or you out. WWE doesn't operate like that. WWE panders to their sponsors. So because if the sponsors want somebody out, they out. So I don't understand this part. And that's the thing that gets me, because it's like the way that they're operating, it's like they're trying to operate as the way a UFC would operate without being a UFC in this situation. I don't know. It's weird, man. And that's weird coming from me.
Well, and I guess too, it doesn't help that it's that whole, we don't necessarily 100% know if it's TKO or is it WWE or a little bit of both. And that's what makes it even more weird, because like you just said, they're operating like it's UFC, which TKO owns both. And that's what makes it even weirder, because it's like, hey, y'all are doing things like, I understand we want to treat wrestling like a real sport and this, that, and the third, which I'm all for it. But at the same time, it's kind of itchy per se, that knowing this man has controversy, but knowing that we've seen lesser superstars fired and reprimanded for less too.
100%.
Odyssey
100%.
Jones got fired, and he's been absolved of everything.
Yeah. Him, Rich Swann was somebody else.
Rich Swann, Velveteen Dream,
Enzo to an
Enzo
extent.
Amore, yeah. And it's like, you know, sometimes just the allegation can get a person gone.
And I think that was all four of them too.
But the fact that names are named in this situation, and here he is right there, bright as day, on the poster, on the advertisement for WrestleMania 42. Like, he's right here. And it's like, I don't want this in people. I don't want it to sound the way it's going to sound, but you kind of just hope that I hope he's in the clear, because I'm like you. How you gonna walk all this back? I mean, they can, but these images exist.
The reason why it's weird for me is because everybody else that was named, it has been somewhat in some way, shape, or form removed.
Facts.
No Laurinaitis, no Vince, obviously. No, damn, what the fuck was his name? Dude used to Beaver Boy.
Pritchard? No, not Pritchard.
Nah, not Pritchard. But he wasn't named. It was
I know who you're talking about. Name just ain't coming to me.
Yeah, for real. We'll figure it out.
But yeah. And people, in case you're wondering, the 2-day combo sale ticket, you know, for shits and giggles purposes, for a 2-day to sit in the bleachers, the nosebleeds, way up yonder, you're coming out of $600
to sit way up there. Like I get the experience
to sit way up there. You're coming out of so far on their website. If you go through Ticketmaster, the cheapest ticket right now for WrestleMania is $661, and I think it's for the 2 days. And that is section in the 300. So you're at the top of the stadium. Yep. Y'all are coming out of money.
For real.
So
is that
yeah, like coming out of money. Now let's move on to some more funner, more exciting things. AEW, you know, I will say this. AEW is doing a lot right. They are doing a lot right. Whether we get frustrated with some booking, whether we or whatever, AEW is doing a lot right, and it's just fun to watch. And I guess it's coming from the fact of the way WWE is going, but it's kind of fun to watch. And one of the Fright Night Dynamite matches, you had this Fright Night 4-way fight to determine who faces Brodito. You got FTR, Young Bucks, Jet Speed, Jurassic Express. Uncle Callis is still on the hunt to recruit the Bucks to the Don Callis family. He even gave them a special intro full of pyro and shit. And then, you know, Matthew was like, "Oh shit, wait, we got pyro. Hold on, we didn't got so used to not having it, you know." But it was a pretty standard match. FTR pulls out the dub, of course, through nefarious means. But you know, FTR pulls out the dub, so FTR will be taking on Brodito at Full Gear. Another fun moment was the Don Callis family sit down summit, and this image was presented, as you can see, of Uncle Don and the family. Of course, you do not see Andrade.
Yeah.
You do not see Andrade. But as you can see, in all of their glory, the Don Callis family. Now, this segment did wind up with Takesha and Okada pushing and shoving each other about to fight because Callis was yelling at Takesha to shake Okada's hand. And then when Okada went for the handshake, he gave him the finger. So Don Callis was like, you know what? I'm gonna make y'all tag again. I'm gonna make y'all tag. So on Collision, y'all two team up. So that way, you know, y'all can strengthen y'all's bond. So it's like, sure, Uncle Don, sure. This is the one thing in AEW that I'm still not getting. I'm still not getting this whole Death Rider situation and what's happening with all of this. Because Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy took on Garcia and Yuta, and as you can see, the Trick or Treat Tornado tag. I'm not understanding what's going on with the Death Riders anymore. And I'm not understanding the storyline of the Death Riders anymore. But ultimately, with the Kyle O'Reilly and John Moxley match, it ended in a double countout. From that, Death Riders hit the ring, and pretty much an alliance of Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, and like conglomeration hit the ring, and pretty much Orange Cassidy said it. Death Riders and conglomeration plus Darby in a blood and guts match. So, yeah. So pretty much the Death Riders, of course, Mox, Yuta, Garcia, Pac, Claudio, and it looks like it's going to be Darby, Orange. I'm going to assume Kyle. I'm going to assume Roderick and probably Ishii. No, Briscoe. So I'm pretty sure those are going to be the 5. That's going to be the conglomeration plus Darby. Or maybe take out Roderick Strong for Ishii. But that's pretty much what it was announced, that Death Riders, conglomeration, blood and guts. So how you feeling about that? How you feeling about that?
It's all weird, and the reason why is because and just like you said you don't know where the story's going.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to believe that AEW don't even know where the story's going, because it's like they did the same thing with Hangman stuff, because you had the good culmination of everything,
mm-hmm.
and you had a nice climax to it, and it was a nice end, and you could have done something very different with the Death Riders, whether break them up or have them go maybe to ROH or New Japan or whatever and do something elsewhere to kind of just get the stink off of them. But you keep them there and basically almost do or rehash whatever plans you potentially had with like a Darby. Like I don't know if this is the plans that they had, but
I don't know.
And we've talked about it before where we said like this, like the Darby stuff feels like it probably would have been better fit like right before the Hangman stuff, especially if you weren't going to put the title on them. And yeah, I don't understand, because it feels like I can't even say that they're throwing shit at the wall to see if it sticks. I just, it just seems aimless. And this is one of the things that it's like, I'm trying to give AEW, another chance, where it's like, I'm trying to be invested in it, but it's like, you keep feeding me shit and then making me feel as though like you playing with me.
So that's what I was saying about, and to kind of circle back when I said AEW is doing a bunch of fun stuff. I think what it is that if you ignore what's happening with this storyline and kind of just take everything else for what it is, it's not some bad stuff going on. But if you're taking, of course, the good with the bad at the same time, it's like, what are we doing with some of these storylines here?
100%. 100%.
Like, what are we really doing? Like, what's really going on? Because if you're not interested in what's going on with the Don Callis family, or if you're burnt out with the Death Rider stuff, or you're tired of Mercedes, then yeah, you're gonna have a rough time watching AEW.
Yeah.
A very rough time.
Yeah.
But,
and I don't even. I think it's the same thing with the Samoa Joe stuff too, because it's like I don't unless you're planning on putting the title on. Well, you know what? Let me kind of take it back.
Well, nope. Well, hold on. You brought it up.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you run it.
There was another fatal 4-way. There was a Fright Night 4-way fight. Roberto Lashley, Ricochet, Samoan Joseph, and Hook. And the winner was taking on Hangman Page at Full Gear. When I tell you the red herring they pulled in this match, because there was a moment where Joseph had Ricochet in the Muscle Buster, and Lashley spears Joe to cause Ricochet to get hit with the muscle butt, and Lashley was going for the pin. And when I seen fucking Hook break up that pin, I almost threw the remote at the TV. To get Roberto Lashley and Hangman Page, let's go. But no, Roberto and Ricochet eventually kind of fought, and then Joseph chokes out Hook. So, as Dizzle predicted, Samoan Joseph, Hangman Page running it back at Full Gear.
And again, this is one of those situations where it doesn't make sense unless you're about to put that title on Joe, because it's like, why then would you decide to run this immediately back? Yeah. Now, we did get a fun segment before we really dive into it. So it was fun, and it was kind of weird because you could feel like they was getting the logistics down, but pretty much Steve Bone is like, hey, we're going to sign the contract right now. You won, we're going to sign the contract now. So the ops come out, Joe signs the contracts, to where earlier they had other people in costume, and if y'all remember, last time Hangman was the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. So Joe was like, I need to protect myself. So he had, Shibata and Haas beat up all the people in costumes. So after that was over with, you see Skillbone again in the corner, and he was saying some things, and then you realize, like, wait, what is Skillbone saying? Then you see, as you see there, it was Hangman dressed as Tony Schiavone in costume. So I want to say, for one of the first time ever, we had a man dressed as the man, disguised as another man. And if you know where that reference is from, you're a real one. But literally, yeah, shout out to
Hangman was in costume of Tony Schiavone. Schiavone was dressed like the Phantom. It was a costume inception. But as you can see, he beats up Joseph and the rest of the ops. So there you go. But going back to what you were saying, Dizzle, about them running it back again so soon.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, again, either you guys don't know what you're doing, or you're just trying to. You're basically filling in, like you're putting a bunch of filler in until you get to the place where you want to be, because if you're trying to pull the trigger on Hangman, either losing the title to maybe like an MJF or somebody like that, and you don't know what to do up until that point, that's a problem. It's like the same thing with the Death Rider stuff, where it's like, okay, well, maybe they wanted that Darby stuff in the middle of what was going on, because that's why a lot of it seemed so kind of just lackluster before you got to the Hangman stuff, because maybe they had that in mind. And that's what it's starting to feel like. Because I'm here for the ops turn. I think that was fantastic. But to then automatically run it back is an issue for me, because it's like you can only go one of two ways. You can either hurt the turn of the ops by having Joe lose back to back, or keep them strong and then have Hangman lose that title. Because the only other option outside of that, let's do a fuck finish, which that's still a problem.
I would say, because at this point, I don't know, because for them, like you said, for them to run it back so soon, it's kind of like, are they going to get that belt to Joseph? Because it's like, kind of energy. So, to be fair, and this is going to eventually lead into the whole booking conversation I want to have. To be fair, it feels like y'all stalling for time.
Yeah, 100%.
It 100% feels like this is a stalling for time. Now, of course, they can give us all the good old-fashioned Vince Russo swerve, and boom, Joseph wins the belt. But for the most part, it feels like a stall for time. It feels like we need Hangman to do some things, or we need some time stall before, like you said, MJF to come back and take the belt or whatever. Like, this doesn't feel, and never nothing against Samoa and Joseph, but this doesn't feel genuine. This doesn't feel like a genuine threat.
Yeah.
Like, yes, Joseph is the former champion, so he is a threat to Hangman, but it doesn't feel genuine. It doesn't feel like, this was the play. This feels like some things, some dominoes didn't fall into play, so this is a pivot. Boom, Joseph.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. But yeah. So to get into before we go, also Penelope Ford is injured. So Megan Bain is getting a replacement partner, and it seems like it's going to be Marina Shafir.
Huh.
So Marina Shafir walked up on Megan Bain, and then Moxley kind of walked in between and was like, these two ladies? I don't know. This could be a dangerous situation. So it looks like Megan Bain and Marina Shafir are going to team up in this tag tournament, which kicked off and the Sisters of Sin beat Jamie Hayter and Queen Aminata with Tekla's interference.
Sounds about right.
So yeah, it really does. Sounds about right. All right, so the conversation I wanted to have, because it kind of leads, it's all kind of all encompassing. So you and I been wrestling fans, we can at least say for 30 years.
Yeah.
And I think the addition of the internet and the way things come out, do you think that has messed up wrestling booking today? And the reason why I'm saying that is because back in the day, in the 90s and early 2000s, whatever the storyline was the storyline. We didn't have an inkling of what the storylines was going to be. We didn't know that the decisions is we're going to give the belt to Stone Cold for 7 months. Then eventually he's going to lose it to The Rock. No, we just knew whatever was given to us is the story. But today, we know too much. And from that, do you think that has slightly ruined wrestling or ruined booking decisions and things like that?
Yeah. Well, 100% yes, to answer the question. But at the same time, I think it's a good with the bad situation, because where I think that it is a problem, I think the way that it does work, and I think this kind of goes back to, I'll use NXT Black and Gold as an example.
Okay.
When you had the comparison between main roster and NXT Black and Gold, Triple H had his finger on the pulse when it came to the fans, because while Vince was basically doing whatever Vince wanted to do, where he seemed somewhat out of touch, whether he still had some good things going on, but for the most part, a lot of it was bad at the time. And Triple H had that alternative where he seemed to understand what the fans wanted at the time.
Yes, I can definitely agree.
And to an extent, when AEW started, it was kind of the same thing, because but it also was that everybody was also looking for an alternative outside of WWE main roster. I mean, so that's where the good can come into play, but the bad within that same vein can also happen too, because when you have your finger on the pulse, you could go too far to the other side to pandering to the fans, where then you end up messing up storylines that could potentially work. Because let's say if Vince would have listened to the fans when Roman Reigns was being pushed heavily, and he just said, you know what, let me go ahead and make Roman Reigns heel right now. I don't think it would have worked at the time, because Roman Reigns wasn't fully developed as a superstar, you know, so we would never have gotten that bloodline Roman Reigns. We would have gotten a Roman Reigns that would have just been horrible on the mic. Or and a good bad guy. Like, he would have that intensity, but he would have not had like the whole just calm, cool, calculated
swagger.
So again, I think that's one of the situations there where, when it comes to the internet, because again, we do know too much, I think you get a lot of bookers who are so timid and afraid of getting certain backlash that they don't want to try things. So they don't want to risk,
I can see that,
you know, wanting to pull the trigger on something that they may have a really good idea on. And I think that's one of the things that's missed about like Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression Era, because you think about as far as Attitude Era, how many times they changed champions to try to find one that's going to fit, and they went to the well with a lot of different people, whether it be like a 1 day reign, 1 week reign, and if it fit and it worked, they kept running with it. And then you think about when Ruthless Aggression Era happened, and you had the SmackDown 6, where Heyman, you know, when they had so much emphasis on Raw and you had a lot of injuries, and then Heyman said, you know, hey, I want to see if I want to take these guys here and see if these
and
work.
make them something.
Yeah. And then that became one of the best moments in the Ruthless Aggression Era. Because again, they were taking chances on people that most people probably wouldn't have taken a chance on. And I just think that as far as that goes, I think we need to get back to a point where, you know, being okay to fail. And maybe that could be what AEW is doing right now. Maybe they're just doing a whole bunch of shit and saying, you know what, hey, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, whatever. And if that's the case, then I'll shut up when we get to that point.
Because also too, because we also got to remember, they're only 6 years in.
Yes.
They're only 6 years in compared to 50 or 40 something. Damn near 50 years compared to on the other side. So that's why I'm okay with taking a lot of, that's why I'm okay with grading AEW on the curve of booking, because of they're still new at this per se. It's just what's frustrating in AEW sense is that sometimes you see storylines going away, and then they may take a hard left or a hard right, and you're like, how did we? Because once again, you had the Death Riders on some, we're trying to take over. After they beat up a bunch of people, it was like they stopped the corporate takeover. Then you had them just beating up certain people. Then eventually Hangman was the one to dethrone them. And then now Darby comes, and you was thinking that Darby was going to be the proverbial nail in the coffin. Then now it's like blood and guts. What? Like, what? We get all of that, then blood and guts.
Blood and guts with the conglomeration.
With the conglomeration in Darby.
Just
the conglomeration in Darby versus the Death Riders, and it's like, what? It's like, okay, sure. Like, we didn't have anarchy in the arenas. We didn't had all of these matches with the Death Riders for the past year, and are we now about to officially say this is going to be the nail in the coffin of this iteration? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, and that's the thing that gets me, because it's like that's the stuff that kind of makes me feel like AEW doesn't know what they're necessarily doing.
Mhm.
Because before, like if you go into like the second and third year, where you had them focus on a Britt Baker, where it's like because like she struggled a few times, but it's like they went with her and it worked. You know, them putting the belt on Rio as their first champion, like that's a chance going. You know,
it was very much so a chance.
well, especially with the roster that you had, like it's crazy. And the same thing with other champions. I mean, who's to say that an MJF would work? Who's to say that a Sammy Guevara would have worked? Who's to say that Jurassic Express would have worked? You know, but again, you're taking chances on these guys and saying, hey, run it. And I feel that they've kind of slowed down on doing that because they're playing it safe to an extent.
Yes, they are definitely I don't want to say in a rough patch or in a rut, but they're definitely on some we're gonna play it safe. Because if you look at it, the only non-safe champions in AEW right now is Brodito. Because Brodito was a chance. I mean, Okada, we knew Okada was going to get some gold at some point. Fletcher wasn't so much a chance because they was building him up to be something.
Yeah.
Statlander is homegrown talent. It was overdue. Mercedes, Mercedes. She was a talent coming in. Boom. The Ops being trios champions was safe because at least we know how it is for Samoa Joe to have a championship. So boom, give one to Hobbs, give one to Shibata. It's still safe. Who else? Hangman being the champion again. It's safe. You just said something.
You just said something that does raise a solid point, and it has to do with the death because you said Joe is a safe thing. That's why the Ops are champion, because Joe wouldn't be the safe thing. Are we still having the Death Riders within like prominent booking because of a Mox?
Yes. Think about it. Okay. Before we jump it back to WWE side with this booking thing, think about okay, to put parallels, look at the Bloodline and look at the Death Riders. When the chips started to fall for the Bloodline, everything fell apart for Roman. The chips have failed for the Death Riders, full stop. So at this point, if you're looking at Roman and Mox as leaders, what reason does the Death Rider still need to follow Mox?
There wouldn't be none.
Mox has lost the championship on the biggest stage. He quit to Darby. You would think, like you just said, at this point, remember how the Bloodline broke up and what happened? Solo was like, oh, so y'all just left me? Oh, so just fuck me, right? Well, fine. I'm going to start my own Bloodline then. AKA, Claudio should have took the Death Riders and been like, hey, Mox. Or kind of like how when Triple H took DX from Shawn, he was like, well, shit, since Shawn lost his smile and he had to go, well, look, this is DX 2.0. Me and China, the New Age Outlaws, and X-Pac in this bitch. So at this point, yes, Mox is the reason why the Death Riders are still a thing. Because, I mean, they even added Garcia. And by way of affiliation, Megan Bayne. Because if Megan Bayne and Marina is about to team up, depending on how far they go in this tournament, you kind of just unintentionally kind of added Megan Bayne to the Death Riders. But once again, what is the purpose of the Death Riders? Because at least when the Bloodline fell apart, Jimmy and Jay kind of fell apart. And Jay was like, I'm going to become my own man. Jay became Intercontinental Champion. Jay became a tag champion without Jimmy and became world champion. Sami Zayn became Sami Zayn. And like I said, Solo was like, well, fuck that. I'm gonna take the bloodline. I'm gonna take the Ulafala. I'm the tribal chief.
Everybody
Right now, we should be seeing Mox versus Claudio. Because Claudio should be looking at Mox like, hey, yo, say big dog. You've been kind of failing. You know what I'm saying? You've been kind of like letting the squad down. Why are we still following you? What reason do we have? So yes, Mox is 100% the reason why the bloodline. Apologies. The Death Riders are still around. Because I mean, even this, Death Riders even brought in the Bullet Club War Dogs to even help. It still failed. So yeah, Mox is the sole reason that the Death Riders are still a thing. AKA, we don't know what to do with y'all if we split y'all up at the moment. So it's best to keep all of y'all together, just like the Don Callis family, because we don't know what the fuck to do with all of them if this family was to break up.
But the difference with the Don Callis, which I do appreciate, is that
Don Callis,
100%.
Once again, I cannot believe, stamp it, October 30th of 2025. I am giving Don Callis credit.
I mean, because it's one of those things where it's just like, okay, I'm putting you guys together, and everybody that's joined has technically has a reason to be there. Most of them. I'm not going to say all. Most of them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, even the guys that really don't have a legitimate reason still has a legitimate reason because they're not really doing anything. So they're there to increase the numbers.
Because I mean, look at the Death Riders. We've seen Pac in the title picture, if I remember correctly. We've seen Claudio in the title picture. They're being held back at this moment. Daniel Garcia was kind of sniffing around, being held back at the moment. And Willa Yuta, just Willa Yuta. But yes, there is no reason. It's when is it? I'm not saying I want the Death Riders to break up per se, but what is the end game? Because if this is supposed to be the big bad faction that is taking over, or we need to stomp out the evil, and they're still here. So are you going to really say the blood and guts match is supposed to be the culmination of getting rid of the evil when we had this match at All Out? I'm sorry, All In. No, yeah, we had this match at All In. You just had an I Quit match. So it's like, what's supposed to be the true culmination of this? Because you think about any evil faction in wrestling, at some point they got their comeuppance, and that's when things got a little bit sketchy with the group. It was like, ugh.
Yeah,
NWO. They finally took some losses. They split between the NWO and the Wolfpack.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's very weird booking decisions that they're doing with the Death Riders.
I don't know, because every outcome for the Death Riders, with even with this match, makes no sense. Because if
it makes no sense.
It's like if they win, then you technically would have to break up the Death Riders because you're gonna lose.
What more could you do to them?
Yes.
What more could you do? What more could you do?
And if they win, okay, you beat the conglomeration.
And Darby. Exactly. Whoop-de-doo. Shout out to Young Thug. Whoop-de-doo. Because jump the booking over to WWE side. You had a shock betrayal of Bronson and Braun betraying Seth. And what was their payout? Nothing. Nothing. That one make sense.
Unless it's about to make sense at the pay-per-view. Or sorry, the PLE.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of. But like if nothing comes out of that, then it's just like, yeah. What the fuck do you do? Like
literally. So Because like even with the WWE, okay, so and the reason why I was also asking that question too, because you know I know storylines, writers, bookers, they're all kind of all hand in hand.
Yeah.
Not so much on AEW side because once again we see how they've been booking things and do things. WWE side, do you think WWE at this point need to take more chances? And not only take more chances, but take more chances quickly or quicker than what they do. Because Jade Cargill shouldn't have to fight Tiffany a third time for her to finally potentially get this belt off of Tiffany.
True.
LA Knight shouldn't have to have this 2-year chase of a championship that we don't know if it's ever going to lead to a world title. Who else? Drew McIntyre. What the fuck? What in the fuck? Who did he piss off?
I'm saying.
But it's like I understand y'all have these storylines in y'all's head, and I understand y'all want stuff booked the way it's booked. But if y'all giving us the same old, y'all got to eject something new. Like y'all have to eject something new and do it quick because otherwise it really is stale and boring. Like Maxine Dupree should have just straight beat Becky Lynch to be like, oh shit, Maxine beat Becky for the Intercontinental Championship. Damn.
Especially if you're gonna take a chance.
If you're gonna take a chance, why not go ahead and just let Zarya and Soul win the tag team championships? But once again, you're potentially going to put the tag team championships on the Kabuki Warriors. Nothing wrong with that, but once again, safe bet.
Yeah.
You know,
and you could book it a certain way too.
Yeah. Jey Uso and CM Punk. Whoever's going to get it, pretty much safe bet.
Yeah, they really should have booked a legit tournament and had 2 new people. Even if you're gonna have Braun in the tournament, at least put 2 new people. Because if you Braun and Knight, that would have been a better chance. Because and I get it. To more to your point, I get it. You know, if they have something in mind, cool. You know, they didn't expect Naomi to get pregnant. They didn't expect Rollins to get hurt legitimately this time. You know, you don't expect a lot of things to happen. You know?
That is crazy to say that, you know, legitimately.
You know, I do like the fact that they're taking a new direction with Jade because I think it makes more sense. You know, bad bitch Jade works better on all facets. You know, and
1,000%.
And it helps, like, cause if people believe, because there's a lot of people that does believe that she's lacking in the ring, and there's some you know, there's some truth to that to an extent. But you know, when you have somebody that you're automatically gonna hate, her in-ring stuff is hidden behind the character, so you can easily mask a lot of stuff, and then putting the championship on a heel always makes sense, regardless of how good or bad they are, because they're not there to entertain. Well, they're not there to entertain the fans in a babyface way. You know, they're there to be entertaining in an overall entertainment value for the company. You know, so yeah, at least there's that.
Do you think they're gonna put the belt on Raquel? Because it seems like they're doing the collision course of Raquel and Stephanie. Do you think they're gonna put that belt on Raquel?
No. Stephanie is just she is too hot to do something like that. And as much as, you know, we've been talking about taking a chance and putting it, I think that because of the whole Naomi thing, I think this is going to be the safe bet, but also the best bet on all fronts. I don't know what you do with Raquel at that point. But at this point, she seems like she's playing more the enforcer role. But this also could help her because the Rhea Ripley match in Saudi Arabia helped her.
It did.
And I think this match will also help her, which will be perfect, because then if you test the waters with this match and she does come out having a good showing against Stephanie, then that's somebody that could potentially then take the title off of Stephanie. And then maybe have a return and live feud with Raquel or something like that, or run it back with Rhea for the championship. But yeah, I think they're gonna just test the waters at this point.
Okay, but I just think overall, I can see why the internet is so involved in wrestling in these storylines, because we just want to know what's going to happen. But at the same point, to go back, we didn't need to want to figure out what's going to happen back in like the 90s, in the early 2000s, because what they was giving us was exciting enough to where shit, I'm gonna just ride this roller coaster and see what happens. I'm gonna just get on the ride and just see what happens. Now it's like, is this gonna lead to somebody winning the title or not? Because I don't care. But yeah, so I just kind of wanted to pose that little question, because it was like, I know the internet, as good as it can be bad at the same time, and I think to kind of cap it off, I think WWE has too much leaks. WWE has way too much leaks, and the shitty part about the leaks is they come out and then they still stick with those storylines. They still stick with those booking decisions. And it's like, the internet leaked 7 weeks ago that such and such was supposed to win the title, and you still just stuck with it. And then it's like, y'all don't ever think to want to pivot, change, or do anything? Like, a WrestleMania card shouldn't be leaked.
True.
A PLE or like, it's crazy that we can find out, Santos supposed to return in 3 weeks on the 3rd segment of SmackDown on the 20th, and then literally it'll happen the exact way. And it's like, what? And y'all literally kept it? Y'all didn't decide to change it? Like, what? So it is a mystery. And like I said, I get it. You want to see the storylines out, but you gotta just do, because like, even in like doing something fresh, Dominic has been feuding with Penta and Rusev now for like a solid month, and it's been combinations of all those matches. When Bayley and Lyra were beefing with the Judgment Day, it was literally combination of all of these matches. The J Punk World Heavyweight, it's literally just been combinations. And it's like, do something new. Just book some new things. Just book some new things.
Yeah,
please.
100%. I will say this. At this point, with that being the topic of discussion, it's crazy for me to say this, because us and a lot of other people have complained about this in the past.
Okay,
but now the whole Vince showing up and changing the script on the fly don't sound that bad.
It don't sound that bad. It don't sound that bad. In retrospect, maybe he was on to something.
Fucking crazy.
I can understand some people got screwed over, but he might have been on to something.
I will say this though, to kind of piggyback off of that whole thing.
Yeah,
I think what needs to happen at this point now is they need to start running a tight ship in terms of like their creative. I think they need to have like a tight group and have like closed door meetings where it's like only a few people know what's going on. That way the shit's not out in the open and it's getting to every fucking body.
Absolutely.
I think because AEW doesn't have that many leaks, so and it could be because don't nobody know what the fuck is going on anyway. But they seem to have it down because I think when we do our predictions, we seem to predict way more correctly on WWE stuff than we do AEW stuff. And you know,
because AEW literally be like, if it look like a duck, it walk like a duck, it talk like a duck, it's a dog. And you're like, wait, what? So you're right.
Yeah. So yeah, man, I think WWE is too big for its own good. And I think it's because they have to run. I think because they have to go through so many chains to run stuff through people that it does cause that rift and then those leaks that then happen. Because if they have to be like, okay, well, we want this person to be champion because they're going to be good for this talk show or this brand deal or whatever. So make sure that it's good with this person. So then all of a sudden you got the telephone game going on and it's like everybody's hearing something, but it all revolves around like the same person. So they're like, hey, this person's about to get a push. So it's like, yeah, man.
Well, you know what? Go ahead and ride this on out. This Saturday, we have Saturday night's main event, and to kind of run through some of these matches again for the third or fourth time, I can't remember. We're going to get, if it pops up, oh nope, it don't want to pop. See, it don't even want to show up. That's just how much it don't even want to show up. It's just like, nah, I don't want to show up. The graphics don't even want to show up, but it's cool. I'll just round off the actually, you know what? I'll do it this way. I'll do it in overlay mode. Hold on, bear with me for a second, good people. But for the third or fourth time, I think it's the third time, we are going to get Jade Cargill taking on Tiffany Stratton. Now, of course, Jade has a tweener or whatever, but as of now, heel. But once again, just like how we was talking about with the booking, this is literally the third time they are running this match back. So, yeah, that's fun. But any thoughts about this, Deasley?
They have to do it quick. They had because if Jade's gonna take this title, they have to make her look like a dominant force and to hide any potential in-ring flaws that she may have. They'd have to have her dominate Tiffany and basically just dog walk her completely.
That's gonna be the only way. That's gonna be the only way it's gonna work out. Otherwise, if they have Tiffany beat Jade again, then Jade will never be a contender ever again. Yeah. She would never look credible. Yeah, she would never look credible for a threat again if Jade dethrones her. If Tiffany beats Jade a third time.
Yeah,
it'll be like now. Yeah, there's another match that they have booked wild. Dominic has fought Penta 2 different times. Dominic has fought Rusev 2 different times. Rusev fought Penta to determine who was the number 1 contender. The match ended in shenanigans and chicanery. Guess what we do? Make it a triple threat. Make it a triple threat.
Typical.
Dizzle, are you potentially prepared to get your heart broken? Because for the third time, we're going to get Cody Raheem Rhodes taking on Drew McIntyre. Now, if y'all remember, Cody beat Drew when they had an impromptu title match. Drew won by disqualification, and now they are running it back.
Yeah. See, this kind of worries me. because with the dynamic of all the championship matches, well, all the world championship matches that they have on the card, something's gonna have to take a back seat and probably hurt my feelings, because if we're saying that Jade has to win, and it's like non-negotiable, if we're saying that
there's going to be a guaranteed new world heavyweight champion,
and if I'm going with the idea or booking of a Jay heel turn and joining the Vision potentially, and then wanting Drew to win, you're talking about 3 heels ending the show with a championship.
And we're talking about 3 championships switching hands.
Yeah.
On a Saturday night's main event.
Which, if WWE try to get that surprise booking, I mean,
there you go.
Hey, I stand by what I said when it comes to the Drew stuff. If Drew don't win, I'm crashing out. Because again, it's one of the situations where it's like, you've already given it to us and said that, hey, this is what they were going to go with, and y'all wanted to push it. So it's like, yeah, unless you about to give us what you were supposed to give us before, I don't see what the point of this is.
Exactly.
So,
and potential main event, as we discussed, for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship, CM Punk is taking on Jey Uso. So I don't know if there may be another match that may be announced on SmackDown, but those are your 4 matches. And remember, this time around, Saturday night's main event is on Peacock exclusively.
Yes.
So they don't have to worry about that hard stop when 9 o'clock hits, or 10 o'clock if you're in the East Coast. But yeah, so maybe another match could get announced. Maybe if another match gets announced, I'm trying to think what's going on SmackDown. Maybe Damian and Alistair, potentially. I think they're going to save the Wyatts versus the MFTs. So I think they're going to save that for a little bit longer, but we shall see.
That shit. I mean, it's so far it's looking like a solid Saturday night's main event.
It does. But
I'll be down for it.
WWE has a bad habit of things looking solid.
Big facts.
So they have a big habit of things looking solid, and then it's like, oh, word, this what happens. This what you give us. All right, people. So now we are down to your all's favorite part of the show. Get it off your chest, Dizzle. You got anything you want to get off your chest in this world of professional wrestling for this week?
Told y'all. I told y'all last week. I'm saving it. I'm allowing it to ride, because I'm gonna hold them 2 bullets in the chamber until this weekend and see what happened. You don't really get it off the chest. I'm
not gonna lie. For content's sake, I want Cody to win, just to hear the rant that's going to happen. But I really do want Drew to really take the title. But for content's sake, I want Cody to win, just so I can see, because like he said, he's been storing the Ultra Combo finish. He's been storing it. It is on max level. And you're like waiting to see when he gonna hit it, so you need to see if you can counter it or block it. Nothing. So he letting y'all know, if Drew don't win that title, Ultra Combo finish. And we are going to let him just have at it.
Tell you, man.
Let him have at it.
Fucking A, bro.
My get it off your chest moment will kind of refer back to that WrestleMania situation. Not saying even if he's innocent, guilty, or whatever, featuring Brock is a fuck you almost in a sense. And I understand you want to try to advertise this Mania. I understand you want to sell this Mania. And yeah, he's with the company, blah, 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 blah. But that's a bold choice. In the words of what was it, Pepper Brooks? That's a bold choice, Cotton. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. And also too, hey, chill out with them goddamn ticket prices, y'all. WWE. Seriously. Chill out. Did you hear that it was like $13,000 for the Saturday night's main event for John Cena's last match?
Wait, say that again?
It was like $13,000 for like front row seats for a Saturday night's main event because it was Cena's final match. I want to say some seats was going for $13,000.
That is sad, man. That's sad. That's
for
sad.
A Saturday night's main event. I understand it is Cena's last match, but $13,000 is wild.
We need to find out if Cena getting a cut of that.
I would hope.
I would hope so too. Because if it's not, then something wrong. But at the same time,
because you're using my name.
If he is getting a cut from it, then that also was kind of suspect.
That's
it's like,
yes, very much so.
You gonna let them use you like that?
Exactly. But yeah, that's pretty much it, y'all. You know what I'm saying? If some things come up, you know what I'm saying, we'll save it for next week, depending on how major. And of course, come next week, we will see which version of Dizzle we get. Do we get a happy Dizzle that Drew is champion? Or do we get them 2 bullets that he had in the chamber? Because he's not champion. But you know, all the beads foretold this time next week. So with that being said, Mr. Deasley, take us home, sir.
Most def. Of course, people, whether you loved it, hate it, don't forget to rate it, thumbs up, thumbs down, leave all your comments, questions, concerns down below. Please put down your well wishes and hope that Drew wins, because we want happy Dizzle during that review. But yeah, make sure that you tag that subscribe button, tag that notification bell, tag that like button. Make sure that you get notified and updated on anything and everything that we got going on. And of course, until you see these, sorry, my bad. I'm thinking about the whole Drew losing and shit. I got to warm up the 2 sweet so that way we can go ahead and get that good old bada 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 bam. And of course, until you see these handsome faces and hear these immaculate voices, we bid you all adieu. And until next time, you beautiful, 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 beautiful mother effers, tag the fucketh out.
Dollars make a way to make a change. Gotta be insane to make them same mistakes again. So I'm switching lane to lane. Pray to